Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Sevens. Now, this one is the final match for these two sides, South Africa and Argentina. Now, they are the top of the table at the moment. And looking through at the way that the table sits, South Africa, if they want to finish number one and receive the full 20 points, they would need to win this game by 8 points or more. That would stop Argentina from getting a bonus point from this matchup, whereas on the other side of things, all Argentina need is a singular point to take out the Nairobi Sevens. Looking through, they are on 12 points at the moment, the Argentines. South Africa close behind on the 9. Anything can happen, and these two sides have met a few times in the past, including last year in LA. It was 17 points to 14 in favour of South Africa. They also met in Sevens 3, as they are the two sides that got promoted. So a massive opportunity to show what they can do in this contest. Looking through at the starting lineups, Lamprecht is there for South Africa. She has got pure pace and really has scored a lot of crucial tries throughout this competition for the South Africans. They've got Sharemba, who was the try scorer machine from earlier on in Sevens 3, and of course the captain Nadine Ruiz, someone to keep a close eye on, whether that's rugby union or rugby sevens. Always seems to stand up for the Blitzboks woman. Looking through at Argentina's starting lineup, Pedroso, she is the captain of this Argentine team. Gonzalez is there. That is Sofia Gonzalez, and also Milena Naomi Diaz, another one to keep an eye out for. One of the bigger forwards for the Argentines, who uses that power to her advantage to try and bump off the opposition. And I have to say, this match, anytime it has happened so far, whether that's in 7-3 or last year, it's been a thoroughly entertaining game. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. And like I mentioned, 8 points or more, South Africa need to win by if they want to get that number one spot. Now, Argentina, because of the fact that they lead by the 3, it means that even if South Africa were to win by 7 or less, Argentina would still get that bonus point. And that would get them 20 points on the overall standings heading through the next 2 legs of Sevens 2. We have got good afternoon, says Kyle. Welcome in. Hope you are doing extremely well. What, you said the wrong name. Which name did I say? Padza, there's probably a few mistakes. It is currently 1:10 a.m. here in New Zealand as these two sides get ready to make their way out onto the field, getting ready to go for what will be 15 minutes of all-out action in the Sevens. Nadine Ruiz leading her side out from the front. Mine, says Padza. Did I read your name when I said it? Oh, I don't remember saying it before you said that I said it wrong. I hadn't even seen the chat at that point. I was just reading through the two sides. He got him. Says Pad's in there. It's like the last live stream. I had someone say that I hate Kenya. Or they said, like, I said that Kenya annoy me or something like that. And I was still trying to work out what they were going on about. But these two sides now out there on the field. Nadine Ruiz, the captain. Pedroso, the captain of this Los Pumitas side. It's going to be a good match. Hopefully. Relatively close. Cecil Africa, the coach of this women's sevens team. Messing with you, says BTW Padza. Looks like there's a lot of bugs on the camera lens there. So both sides going to be dealing with the heat and also the altitude. Something else that they will have to deal with out there on the field. Now we are ready to go. How are you though? Sleep deprived, I would say, is the best way of describing it. But we are still going. Still got those matches later on tonight. And now ready to go for this one. We will update our clock down the bottom of the screen. There we go. We will go like that. Perfect. Kicked off by South Africa. Nicely claimed by Argentina. Going to be some huge hits throughout this game, but also some really quick fire running. And a penalty already going the way of the Argentines. Quick tap taken. 40 metres out from their own line. All they need from this game is 1 bonus point, but they would love nothing more than to be undefeated throughout this whole competition. Now breaking the line nicely. Going down the left-hand side. It's going to be a chance out wide for Roddick. He's going to be tackled low. Back across to the right-hand side now. Chamorro. And across into the middle of the park. Good defence. Almost an opportunity to get the steal there for Nadine Ruiz, but it's going to be another penalty awarded to the Argentines for no rolling away from South Africa. Just some fuel during the game. Fresh bugs is always good, says BTW Pad said. Also, we have got there, what does France play today? Did they play already? I know Wales are playing today at 5. So Wales are playing France for the Six Nations. So the French side haven't played their round 2 fixture. And at the moment, in the Six Nations, everyone has had 1 win, 1 loss. So we're waiting to see whether or not France and Wales continue that trend. But for that to happen would mean that it's the biggest upset of the whole Six Nations by far if the Welsh could get the win over the French. A scrum being now for Argentina. Chamorro does feed it in. Oh, a little bit of pressure there, but another penalty awarded against South Africa, this time for offside. There's 3 quick fire penalties against this Blitzboks women's side. Nice pass on the outside. Chamorro tries to fend. Another offload. That is beautifully done, and that will be the try. Escalante scores it, and Argentina take the lead early in this matchup. Now, I will mention, whoever loses this game, and if they do finish second in the overall standings, it is still a very nice boost towards getting through to the championship that has taken place near the end of the 7th season. France to win 57-13, and hi from a South African in Ireland. Thanks for the great commentary as always. He's great, no worries at all. And yeah, it is greatly appreciated you being here for this one. We have got plenty more sevens coming up in the future in terms of only about 3 weeks away from the men's Division 1 sevens coming back, and then I believe the week or 2 weeks after that, we're back to Division 2. So we will get to see these two sides in action once more. But that kick has gone over from Argentina, making the score 7-0 in favour of the Argentines. Going to be kicked off long, down towards the 22. South Africa, this is actually their first possession pretty much of this whole game. It took 2.5 minutes, but now, as soon as they get that ball in hand, they can be dangerous. And there is the run. Maria Sharemba will score it already. And it just shows you the danger of the South African team. They have the ball for 20 seconds, if that, and already score themselves a try between the posts. It's quite the way to answer back, though, when you've got, just conceded. And they do say that scoring afterwards is the best form of defence. But Maria Sharemba just breaks the line. Argentina, it didn't look like it was a massive gap, but it seemed like as soon as she was through, they were not going to be able to catch Sharemba. And Wales will push France early. It will be 26-13 at half-time. Then France will just run away with it. See, here's BTW Padza. You see, it's going to be intriguing to see what Wales, their tactic is. Do they go for threes early? Because in that case, with the 13 score, they would have taken 2 3-pointers up against the French. But I feel like they're just going to have to go from very first start of that game and just continue to chase tries, because or else they won't even be close. So, it's going to be intriguing. See what they can do. That one kicks off in only about 3 hours' time, I believe. Oh, loose ball picked up by Argentina. Just a little bit of an awkward, bouncy one. Sharemba wasn't able to take it cleanly, but she does end up winning the penalty in the breakdown. A big high five from Malinga as well. Yes, Netherlands just scored. See, here's Novmum. As South Africa will maul Argentina. See, here's Casper. At the moment, these two sides, they've been pretty even the few times that they've played, so I don't think there's been any sort of mauling when they go face-to-face, but it's good body position from Sharemba in the breakdown to be able to win that ball. Nadine Ruiz about to feed it in, and as we saw, the early try from South Africa when they started getting possession, South Africans, they have to win this game by 8 if they want to finish number 1. There is no playoff rugby in this situation. It's just points on the table. Going off to the left-hand side now for the South Africans, trying the step here. It is Malinga to be caught up with, but gets her offload on the inside. Sofia Gonzalez covering some good ground there to make the original tackle. Okay, I have to go. See you next time. That was short and sweet, Casper. We will see you later on. Nicely taken there by Lamprecht. Oh, knock on there on the ground. Of course, we know Lamprecht. She is one of the quicker players around on the 7th circuit. As soon as she gets space, there is no way of catching her. Eduardo, it looks like you're going for Argentina there. Currently, they are sitting in number 1 on the overall standings with the current way that it sits. These two sides have a draw. I believe we go to Golden Point. But just a knock-on the ground from Lamprecht opens up the opportunity for the Argentines with 2 minutes remaining in this first half. It is still extremely close between the two teams. Guess what, says Padza? Did you play golf? I assume it might be something golf-related. Now trying to get a big fend in. It was an interesting tackle from Sofia Gonzalez. Fends Malinga, and then Malinga just pretty much smashes her. But now looking for the steal again here, South Africa, and they do manage to get the possession back. Number, does she take the quick tap? No, leaves it alone. And they have called for the scrum here, South Africa. No, guess what? What am I guessing? Currently 70 seconds remaining in this first half. South Africa have got themselves a great attacking chance. Now sitting about maybe 17 metres out from the line, right near this nearest touch side, about 5 metres infield. And Nadine Ruiz to feed this one, and this is where if they shift it out wide, they really may not be able to catch them. We've seen it time and time again. That's going to be a free kick. Nadine Ruiz now moving it away to the left-hand side, but the ball is dropped in the middle of the field from Malinga. And it means now Argentina get themselves another scrum. 35 seconds remaining in this first half. By the time the scrum is set, maybe you can go a phase or two and then just boot this ball out, except the 7-all at this stage. They're deep inside of their own half, so the risk of trying to run this one downfield and not have South Africa get themselves another turnover, I think is almost a little bit too big. Definitely when you're in a scenario where all you need to do is not lose by 8. Breaking off the back here for the Argentines, though. Moving it away to the right-hand side, although they're going with the attacking mindset. I tell you what, it's going to work out for Argentina. They will get inside of South Africa's half. Very nice tackle made down the wing. Now 40 metres out. South Africa looking for the steal, but they give it away. Argentina decide to go for the quick tap. So a lot more attacking minded than I thought that they may have been in this scenario. Trying to kick that ball. It's just gone dead, though. Little bit too much juice on the kick. And it's going to be half-time anyway. 7 points to 7, but a bit more of an eventful end to the first half than anticipated. Just like that, we're already halfway through this match. That is the thing with sevens. You blink and you miss a half. And all of a sudden, 7-7, we're pretty much going into the second half in the exact same scenario as we were at going into the first, which is South Africa need to win this second half by 8 points. Argentina, they can win this game, they can draw this game, they can lose this game, but if it's by 7 or less, they will win the competition in Nairobi. So quite an intense 7 minutes or so could be on the cards here. Hello, Roof. Says Panzer. And afternoon, Hamish. I've just come here from a hike. Hot out here, 33 degrees in Cape Town. Seems like an interesting choice to go for a hike when it's so hot there, Roof. But then I guess at the same time, if it's always relatively warm at this time of the year, you probably and just go out whenever you can. I do know that the Lions are playing the Sharks next week in the URC, so it might be relatively warm for that contest as well. But these two sides, they are dealing with the heat in Nairobi as well as the altitude, which can have a real effect on how much stamina these ladies have left in the tank. Very cold, but good, says Panzer. But now, 7 minutes remaining. Chance here for South Africa to try and take out the full 20 points available. Now, I believe second place still gets 18, which is well and truly better than someone like a China at this stage will receive. Brazil, Kenya currently are still inside of that top 4. And I will mention, if they finish in the top 4, I believe you get quite a substantial boost in points compared to outside of that. I could be wrong though, but they seem to always be showing the table with that distinctive line between top 4 and bottom 2. But another leg of this competition, it is taking place, I thought it was in a month or so, but the commentator said next week, but I believe it is actually a month till we get to see Sevens 2 back in action. I was walking in Newlands Forest, 10 minutes from my house, gorgeous under trees, kept it bearable. Says Roof, but second half now underway in this contest. We are ready to go for yet again another eventful half. The South Africans, I'll mention it once more, they need to win by 8 if they want to secure that number 1 spot. Now, nice run from Shiremba. I might go for a walk right now, says Pets. It is currently 1:20 a.m, so just be safe if you are going to go out and about. Or do it on a treadmill, much safer. We have the Ahoy 8, says 1 Pierre Bosch, welcome in. You are doing extremely well and hope you are excited for all of the rugby that we have still got on today. Argentina in position at the moment, 35 metres out from the South African line, and another penalty is against the South Africans. We got if South Africa win, says Mohadin. I feel like that one was cut off halfway through perhaps. So we'll wait for the second half of that one, but the penalty is awarded to Escalante, the lone try scorer for Argentina at this point in time. But the Argentines have called for the scrum here just to the fridge. I guess that's probably why it's so cold. Because the fridge will, of course, I'd like to think, be colder than everywhere else around the house, other than maybe the freezer. The penalty was awarded against Lamprecht there. I'll take a lazy stroll to Benji now. And Los Pumas are going to be looking for some redemption. Says Haino. Yeah, see, they were beaten in that Division 3 final. They also were beaten in LA last time that these two sides played, 17 points to 14. But to be able to win the first leg of the Sevens 2 competition be quite the statement for this Argentine side. Big scrum there from South Africa, but the ball is still on the side of the Argentines. Now moving away to this left-hand side. Thought about the offload, but instead she will run it herself up the middle. Sofia Gonzalez scores the try. And that is very nicely done by Argentina. Now just the 5 minutes remaining on the clock here. It's ticking down extremely quickly, but a big old fem from Sofia Gonzalez to get rid of the opposition. Now, she is listed as a back, but she is one of the taller backs around the place. Reminds me a little bit of a Josefa Talatholo in terms of the way that she moves, and also has that offloading ability alongside it as well. But it's a great try for Argentina. An unsuccessful conversion here, I will mention. And that changes things just a little bit in this contest. Because 12 points to 7 still results in South Africa needing the 2 tries from here. But if they convert both of them, then they will win by the margin that they need to. Now trying the step, almost able to break through. The replacement off the bench for the South Africans, Implatius. Now back across to the right, kicked in behind. This is one where Lamprek normally would win the foot race, but it looks like Argentina have got the pace advantage down the wing with Rodic. Ball is available at the back of the breakdown once more for Argentina. Ticking over to only now 4 or so minutes remaining. Vamos los Pumas Sevens, another penalty. That is the 5th against South Africa in this matchup. So their ill discipline really costing them. I just win this game, says Haino. Although if they win by 7 or less, it means that Argentina would still qualify top and Argentina would still get full points from the competition with South Africa second. But of course, for bragging rights, South Africa winning this one, they'd love that, bare minimum. Now scrum feed here for Argentina. 4 minutes remaining on the clock here. For anyone wondering how the table sits going into the final round, it is scrolling across the bottom of the screen at the moment. At the moment, there are only 3 points separating these two sides. Argentina, come on, let's rumble, babies, says Ruth. It's intense out there at the moment. 4 minutes to make a difference. Argentina, if they scored now, you'd have to say they have guaranteed #1 spot in Nairobi. But if the Blitzboks ladies can get back in and they get themselves the penalty at scrum time, they were close to winning it last time, South Africa, for that scrum. But this time, they have made the most of the big early push. And they have set for the scrum again. 3.5 minutes remaining. We see Nadine Ruiz. The cogs are ticking over in her brain at the moment. She's trying to work out what is the best set piece that we can use from here if you are South Africa. Is there promotion to the next weekend of Sevens 1 or not, says Haino. So from my understanding, there's 3 legs of Sevens 2, and then whoever are in, I believe it's the top 4 in the overall qualifying in terms of points, they go on to the championship for a chance of getting promoted to Division 1. But I could be wrong there. It's a little bit confusing the way that it's laid out. Nadine Ruiz, she was driven into touch by Argentina, just had the foot on the line. Very unlucky there, as if she had been just a little bit further inland, I think that would have been a backline opportunity for South Africa. Wait till this afternoon. French match, Antoine Dupont, says Ruth. And also we have got there, you are, no ladies, you are disappointed. I'd say that they're far from disappointing. This side, we've got to remember they've come from Division 3. They've already had 1 promotion this year. And with where they are sitting in the overall standings, currently second by the way, they will also get promoted into the championship opportunity to go on to Division 1. So I think they're anything but disappointing what we've seen from this Blitzboks women's side, just like what we saw in the Women's World Cup when they were performing well above what was their expectation from pretty much everyone. His disappointment, says Kemba, yeah, definitely not South Africa. I think they've been phenomenal throughout the last 12 months or so on their sevens. We just see there, Gonzalez just managed to wrestle Nadine Ruiz into touch just on that replay. It was the fastest women's 7 player this season. Random thought, I'm sure you all know. Oh, drop ball there for the South Africans, just out from the goal line from Windvogo. He does end up putting it down. I would say out of these two sides, fastest player is probably, it's either Sharemba or Lamprek, I would say. But on terms of the whole circuit, I think there's a Brazilian player who really does run extremely quickly. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, though. And I'm also not sure if she's still playing for Brazil as she was last year, but now that they're in Division 2, I don't know if she is. Our Lady Bok are just too slow today. Normally they're pretty good sharp, and just the penalties against them have been hurting them big time. 5 penalties so far going against them in this contest. South Africa teams are not allowed to lose, says Martin. Well, I guess you're never going to be happy then, are you? Even the Springboks lose the occasional game, don't they? And Chesil and Colby or Chesalina Colby, says Rugby. I'd love to see him in a foot race with one of these South African speedsters. I feel like it would be quite an interesting one to watch, but now running this one sideways. Chance for South Africa to be able to score in this contest. They've got 90 seconds remaining. Chance here for Dolph, looking short side. Now trying to get a little bit of redemption here for the South Africans after the drop ball from Winvogel. Ball's still there. Oh, that's straight and off the feet from Argentina. That looked illegal, but I believe they're going to say play on. Yes, they are, and Argentina have ended up with the ball, so they've obviously called that one out of the breakdown enough to be jumped on by this Argentine team. But now inside of the 22, tackle too high from South Africa, and it will be another penalty to lead to a penalty count of about 7 throughout this game against South Africa. I believe the Argentines only being penalised twice. Should have been an obstruction, says Jonathan. See, I thought it was going to be playing the ball, like diving on the ball from the breakdown. Hello there, Kiwi Sir. How are you? Doing very well. Excited for not just the Six Nations coming up, but also Kenya versus USA just around the corner to help confirm what will be happening in the men's side of things. Now, if Kenya were to lose that game by 8, Germany can actually take that number 1 seeding spot. And also goes South Africa, says Martin. And their first time I listened to Lady Sevens, says Martin. Well, I highly recommend getting behind it. Definitely Sevens 2. It's a lot more competitive in Sevens 2 than it is in Sevens 1. Sevens 1 dominated by New Zealand and Australia, and pretty much every single week the final is just that. Whereas on Sevens 2, we've seen so many competitive games taking place so far, and anyone inside of, I would almost argue, the top 5 of these sides can beat anyone on any given day. And Vamos says, 16, another penalty. And it looks like it might be a yellow card here. Yes, it is, up against Argentina. A little bit of a turning point in the closing moments of this game. South Africa, they may not be able to win this competition in Nairobi, but they can still win this game to make a bit of a statement. 30 seconds now left on the clock. What time Scotland losing to France? Scotland play France in about 2 or 3 weeks' time. But if you're talking about Wales versus France, it's taken place in around 2 hours and a half. Now, ball's about to be fed in. Nadine Ruiz put this ball into the scrum. Just the 5 seconds remaining now on the clock. Moving it away to the left-hand side. A catch ball here would be one. Oh, no, they've called it forward. It's ruled as a forward pass out to Makoni. Oh, no, never mind. It was forward, but they're going back for another penalty in favour of South Africa. This game is not over yet. Still one more opportunity for the Blitzboks women to get themselves the victory. Nadine Ruiz goes out to the short side. Chance to score here. 3 metres out from the try line. South Africa looking for the steal. Get that ball back. Almost Argentina able to rip it away in the breakdown. Now again, they will use this backline chance to be able to win this game. Pass one more. This time it's not forward to Makone. She scores the try. It's 12-12. And now there's a chance, I believe, that we can go to golden point here between these two sides, ladies and gentlemen. Second half, 14 minutes has passed on the clock. It looks like Makoni has hurt herself, but she has got a crucial try for her team. We're 12 points to 12. Nadine Ruiz, if she kicks this one over, South Africa win this game. If she misses, I believe we go to golden point. And who will be the freshest side if that happens? Nadine Ruiz, she is normally phenomenal off of the drop kicks. Can she spike this one straight down the middle? It's struck well and misses away to the left-hand side. Both sides are exhausted. We hear the full-time siren. We're going to sudden death, ladies and gentlemen. That is exactly how this match had to end. At the end of the day, these two sides are always competitive. And now there was the opportunity to win it, but a missed kick from both sides. And I do need to mention Escalante. She is not out there on the field. So currently South Africa have a 1-woman advantage for the rest of this golden point until we see a stoppage, maybe 2 minutes in. Morning, Sir Hamish, says Darren, welcome in. Easy kick or a tough one. It was relatively challenging, probably about 35 out on the angle. Nadine Ruiz, it seemed like she had the distance, but just didn't quite have the accuracy. Missed away to the left, and it was a draw. But extra time on the cards, ladies and gents, so we will quickly go like this, and we will write that in. Extra time. There we go. Now, this has confirmed, though, that Argentina are the Nairobi Sevens champions because South Africa cannot get far enough ahead from golden point to be able to win. So they will finish up with, if they win this game, they'll finish with the 12 points, but Argentina would finish with 13. So the overall standings means that currently, even though points differential would be better for South Africa if they were to win, that Argentina still get that bonus point, if that makes sense. And I, Hamish Maddie Levi Australia, as one of the speedsters, says DJ, yeah, in terms of Division 1, you'd definitely give it to someone like a Maddie Levi. But in terms of Sevens 2, I think it's a little bit more competitive. And plus, Maddie Levi, she has got much longer legs than most, so she does cover a lot more ground than a lot of the other ladies who are also on that circuit. How are my underperformers doing? Says Katz. Now, I'd say Argentina are overperforming in some regards. The fact that they have been promoted from Sevens 3 straight into Sevens 2, and they are going to be winning the Nairobi Sevens Championship. Like, where is the underperforming part of that? The fact that they are literally going to be Nairobi Sevens champions. I go South Africa Sevens ladies. Says Martin there. So, yeah, golden point time. Whoever wins this game will be the team that score the next points in this game. I had it as extra time. We're going to change it. We're going to go golden point time instead. There we go. And that is true. The Sevens are one for the women. So predictable. The Black Ferns always win. Love watching them, though, mainly for Caitlin Vahakola and Risi Poldy Lane. I love them for real, says Taiwan. And go South Africa Sevens ladies. Says Martin there too. But Gonzalez, she is out there, one of the 2 try scorers for Argentina. The other, Escalante. She is still going to be off the field for the first minute or so, maybe 2 minutes almost, of extra time here. Who has better kickers? It's pretty even in terms of these two sides. It just depends on where the kicks are happening. But I can tell you right now, Argentina would have been thoroughly disappointed to miss that second kick, as it looked a lot more gettable than Nadine Ruiz's wide attempt that she had to go for. Oh, that's a high tackle straight off the get-go on the Argentine by Lamprecht. He's managed to clip Teledred around the chin. I think they're just asking the question, do they get their player back? And it sounds like they do here. Yes, she comes back out here, Escalante, and she will be the freshest out of any player. Will it be the bounce of the ball today? It could honestly be one big moment. But I think that if South Africa were to lose this game, they would have to blame their discipline. They've given away around 7 penalties throughout this match. Argentina currently trying to get an attack going from inside of their own half. Attack and run up to 40 metres out from their own line. Now away to the left-hand side. Whoever scores next wins this game. Ball on the inside from Gonzalez. And then also joins the breakdown. Very quick work from the Argentine back. Now middle of the field, and I have to say there is not a lot of pace on either side at the moment. They are fatigued out there on the Nairobi field. Another penalty against South Africa. That was for not rolling away from Nadine Ruiz. Now moving away to the left-hand side. Whoever made their subs later probably will win this game. Cut on the inside. Gonzalez gets through too, but then she's dragged out. Throws the ball out the back. Jumping on it. Little knock on the ground there from South Africa. Missed by the referee. Now Nadine Ruiz. Chance to get this attack going from inside of the 22 for South Africa. Running on the short side. Dolph steps round 3. She is smashed in the challenge. She may be hurt as well. There's a penalty here for the high shot in favour of South Africa. But a missed knock on the ground from the referee. Is this the moment that South Africa needed? Now, looks like they're calling for the scrum. That's the right choice. At the end of the day, when both sides are absolutely exhausted, you want to have a few stoppages if you can, and the scrum is the perfect opportunity to do that. I think whoever has to run this one to the try line may end up getting cramp, because they'll still have to go about 60 metres downfield, South Africa. So once again, whoever is the more fresh will be able to win this game, and I do see that Malinga makes her way back on. So another sub made here by the South Africans. Not sure how many subs Argentina has left up their sleeve. Now we have got there Los Gonzalez and Escalante. Says 16. Yeah, she is definitely a game changer and currently one of the more fresh players out there on the field. We are still in golden point time, ladies and gentlemen. 3 minutes remaining of the first period of golden point. An interception try, counter-attack by the Pumas. Says Ruth, and they would have less metres to go to the goal line than South Africa currently do. Nadine Ruiz goes across to the left-hand side. Nicely taken by Malinga. She's going to be running this one sideways at the moment, trying to show off some pace. Manages to bump off one challenge. Tackled in the second, though. Ball on the side. No, little knock on. And it now means that Argentina have got themselves the scrum feed. 2.5 minutes remaining. Someone win, don't care. Just a win, okay, says Novmum. Yeah, these two sides could still go for another 7 minutes, and it would end as a draw, I believe, if that was the case. But the first half of extra time still continuing. Some nice stepping from Malinga, but just as she reached the ground, knocked that ball on. This one still easily could go either way. I'd rather watch women's rugby over women's football every day of the week, says Darren. Well, luckily, these two sides, they are still going. At this point in time, it is 12-12, and once again, Nairobi champions are Argentina, but it's whether or not they finish on a high and finish undefeated in this competition, or whether, kick downfield, that is different tactics from Argentina. That one bouncing around, awkward ball, Sharemba just leaves it as it goes into touch. And now, they thought about taking that one quickly, but because Argentina have touched that ball, now they are unavailable or unable to take that one fast. A one fast try, please, says Martin. Yeah, I think it's going to be in slow motion, though. Both of these sides are absolutely gassed out there on the park. They're playing at altitude as well. It's been a fatiguing tournament. 3 games yesterday. This is the second of today. Their last only a couple hours ago. The ball going to be fed in by Nadine Ruiz. 1 minute 10 remaining of this first period of golden point time. Taken at line-out time by South Africa. Nadine Ruiz passes it across to Dolph. Now Malinga, middle of the field. She looks dangerous. In terms of that step, maybe going to be able to sneak through the Argentine defence. Running this one backwards. Different tactic from South Africa. Normally it is not recommended to go in a backwards direction. Another knock on here from South Africa. The errors are coming thick and fast in this contest. 40 seconds remaining for the first period of extra time. Now, whoever... Yeah, that was an awkward one for Nadine Ruiz. Almost got a bit of a chicken wing arm in terms of a player holding her arm behind her back as she landed. We all win when Amish's Live sees Ruby, and we are live for a lot longer on this live stream than anticipated. It's quite lucky that we didn't have a game straight afterwards, because or else then we would have had to keep on changing when it was going to be starting. But the next game that we have got is Kenya versus USA. That is at around 3 a.m. New Zealand time, or a little bit later, about an hour and a half away. And these two sides having another drinks break. They need it. Because at the end of the day, this has been a frantic pace to be able to play at throughout this matchup. We have had a few scrums, but they haven't really slowed down the tempo of this game whatsoever. Yes, South Africa do it, says Martin. So another attacking chance here for Argentina. I believe, see, the thing is, they've got extra time written there, but I'm just wondering whether or not this is extra time or golden point time. I think it is golden point time. Whoever scores next in any fashion will win this game. Balls there available for the Argentines. Another stoppage there just to enjoy a bit of a break, but now back underway for more sevens action. Back up to her feet twice in a row. This is nice work from Chamorro, but she's had the ball ripped off her. Nadine Ruiz passes on the outside. Line break here for South Africa. Down the wing, here comes Sharemba. It's going to be a foot race, and Sharemba is going to win it. And she will score the last try, her double in this contest. And South Africa go on to win this game. Now, they beat Argentina. The Nairobi Sevens, it goes the way of the Argentines. I don't think South Africa may know that as of yet, but they are celebrating this one big time because they have just got a crucial try. We're just waiting to find out if this is extra time or golden point time. I believe that is the end of the game, though. 17 points to 12. They do not have to take the kick. And Sharemba has won this game for her side. They're just showing it there again. It was the drop ball from Argentina that cost them possession, and then from there the foot race. And I mentioned about it right at the start of the game. If Sharemba is in a foot race with anyone on this circuit, she has a great chance of being able to win that foot race. And she does it there, scores the try for South Africa. That does win them the game. What is the path for the Argentine ladies to the main circuit? So if I am correct, which I might not be because this is quite a confusing format, the way that it works out. So I believe top 4 of Division 2 go into a championship format over about, I think it's 2 or 3 legs up against the sides in Tier 1 and maybe a couple from Tier 3. I'm not sure if Tier 3 still get included, but anyway, it's Tier 1, Tier 2, those sides going head-to-head, and then Argentina would have to beat some of the sides on the main circuit to finish within the top 8, and then that would promote them, if that makes sense. But as we get closer, it will get more and more clear. But pretty much what's happened here is the end points for this grouping at the top of the bunch. We're just going to show the table now. Argentina finish on 13 points, so they are the Nairobi Sevens champions and will receive the full points allocated of the full 20 in this scenario. South Africa, they won this game. They received the 3 points, and that puts them in second. I believe they receive either 18 or 16 points from the Nairobi Sevens now. But it's still massive, because if it's top 4 that go through, if you're 1 and 2 after the first event, you got a very good chance of finishing within that top 4. South Africa loses. We take Argentina to court. Go, ladies, go. They have won, Martin. That is the end of this game, 17-12. This tourney win. I must feel like getting a cold pizza for Argentina, says Ruby. Yeah, I mean, they'll be disappointed to lose that game, but at the same time, South Africa did lose early on in the competition, and that game was up against Brazil. If they hadn't lost to the Brazilians, South Africa would have been champions, but they lost to the Brazilians, the only win that Brazil have managed to get, and they managed to get it up against a dangerous side in the Blitzboks. We are about to see Brazil in action. They are going head-to-head up against the, I want to say the Spanish, but I could be wrong. In fact, they're playing China in their contest just around the corner. So that will determine who goes maybe above of the Kenyans. I saw a massive rise, says Ruby there too. And unbelievable nice, says Ruth. And there as well. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. I think these games are all going to be slightly behind schedule now, as that game between Brazil and China was supposed to kick off at 1:34. So I would say that Kenya match now is probably going to kick off at about 3:10 or somewhere around there, which is still perfect. We'll still be able to get that one going before the Six Nations gets underway. But yeah, nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. That was their first game. That was their last game of the competition, Daryl. Oh, sorry, no, the South African one was their second match. They did beat China in their opener. And that game in the opening contest was... Oh, no, sorry, they played Spain in the opening contest. They won 14-12. Then from there, they lost to Brazil in the second game, and then they then beat Kenya as their third match. First game of today was up against China, and South Africa managed to win that one. Where is it? 33-5. And we lost to Brazil, I believe. You certainly did. Second game, 12-0. So that's the big difference. If it wasn't for that game, like I said, South Africa would have been top of the bunch and would have got themselves the full 20 points available. But second place, Argentina finished first. Even with this result, it's a bit confusing, seeing as this seemed like a bit of a final between 1 and 2, but it wasn't quite. We have got there, so when do we start talking about food? Probably the Six Nations, to be fair. I feel like someone will end up mentioning food throughout that one. But speaking of food, I might go get some, seeing as I've got about an hour till that next stream, or a little bit longer, so I'll probably have some food, have a bit of a break, and then be ready to go for Kenya versus USA. We have got there, hi, Bixby. Amuse me, my dad's phone, so excuse if my dad's phone. Thanks, because mindfulness using my dad throwing at the moment. Says a Walt. Use me on my... Have we ended up with a Walt watching in the chat who was trying to do something else, and he's ended up on a Kiwi Lads live stream, maybe? Is that what's happened here? Who is next? It is USA and Kenya. That game is going to be kicking off. It was supposed to be 3:02, but I think it won't kick off even before 3:05 now with the delays from that game going golden point. So I'm going to change the scheduled time to 3:05 now, just while we're at it. And that will be the next contest that we are doing. Go get some KFC or McDonald's. Sadly, they are both 30 minutes away, and it's currently almost 2 a.m. here in New Zealand. So I actually wouldn't make it back in time if I went to get them. Everything Gaming has got the smiley face in there as well for the win to the South Africans. And probably takes a miracle for Wales to get 2 tries today versus France. Yeah, it's going to be tricky. It's Kyle from South Africa. Oh, you've changed your name or on a different account? In that case, Kyle. But yeah, we will be back in about an hour 20 for that next matchup between Kenya and the USA. That is also a pretty crucial game on the men's side of things. And then Six Nations, France versus Wales taking place after that. But thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all for the next one.